A new analysis reveals that more than 1 million people in Britain are now too obese for life insurance.
Without life insurance, it's difficult to secure a mortgage or large business loans. And even for fatties who can get cover, they face paying up to 2.5 times more than other customers.
So is that fair? Should your weight affect your finance?
Well, joining us now to discuss this is the former presenter of Fat Families, Steve Miller. Steve, thanks ever so much for joining us. So what do you think about this? Is this a perfectly reasonable thing for insurance companies to do, or is this unfair discrimination?
Well, first of all, you've changed position. It's like looking at Richard and Judy. Do you know what I mean? The Richard and Judy of telly. Listen, right, let's be down to earth and use a bit of common sense here. What we decide to be as an individual is our choice. However, if you choose to be too fat, then unfortunately you may have to pay for it and pay a dividend for it, right? I'm no fan of insurance companies. However, I think on this, they're right. They are a business at the end of the day. We know that if you are very obese, what that means is you're likely the old ticker isn't going to work very well later on in life. And also, you're putting yourself at risk of living with dementia as well. The research is solid on that. I think what we've got to get out there, the message is listen, I tell myself every day, being a chubster is a choice. And I used to be a right hawker, right? So I think they've got it right on this. I think it's fair. And motivation, of course, is carrot and stick. Yes, it's important to support people with the carrot and the love and all of that. But sometimes you've got to get the chubby finger out and say, come on, you make a choice to get slimmer, or you're going to pay more for your life insurance, or in fact, you're not even going to receive it.
Yeah, and it came out as a news story this week. Probably the number, 1.4 million people weren't getting life insurance. But it's not new, is it? I know friends who are already paying significantly more, have done for a while. I kind of thought that would have been enough to spur me on to lose weight. It's a bit like when smokers were told you had to smoke outside. I always thought that would have been enough to stop smokers smoking.
Yeah, well, it may be that the rate has to increase to encourage people to, start taking responsibility for their bodies. In fact, I have a good friend who is a smoker, good old Kit. She gave me the advice this morning. She said, yeah, it's absolutely right. It's like smoking. I can't really afford to carry on anymore. So it may be that the rate of premium, or whatever it's called, has to increase even more. The key here is that we need to get over in the UK the point that being fat is a choice. And I hear it all the time where people say to me, yeah, but if you're on medication or you've got, psychological issues going on, I accept that. It makes it more challenging. However, there is always a solution. We have to give people hope. If you don't give people hope, what happens is you disempower them.
Oh, I think we were...
No, he's still with us. We could still hear him. Those words of advice were coming across loud and clear.
I guess the final question, Steve, really on this. I mean, this applies to people who are severely obese. These people with a body mass index of over 40. So that is pretty high. What is the best? I know it's all about willpower and all the rest of it, and it's a choice. But what's your best tip for people who are they want to lose weight, they're finding it difficult? What's your best tip for them for how to do it?
My absolute number one is to never follow a restricted diet, because you will feel as though your knickers are becoming so tight you want to jump out of them, right? So never diet, and instead follow the 80-20 style of living, eating 80% well and 20% a bit of what you fancy, but also having a personal responsibility, being quite firm with yourself, and having a purpose, having a reason to do it and to live by that person. I'm talking about marriage and relationships. Listen, which I know you were earlier, if you're in a dead relationship, ditch. It makes you fat.
Steve Miller, always a pleasure to have you on. See you very soon.